The lecture, Recent Decisions on Obviousness, covers two 2017 decisions from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, Personal Web Technologies, LLC versus Apple, Inc., and Rovalma, S.A. versus Bohler Edelstahl GmbH and Company. In the Personal Web Technologies and Rovalma cases, the Federal Circuit criticized the USPTO's Patent Trial and Appeal Board for not providing sufficiently explicit and detailed explanations for the board's determinations of obviousness based upon combinations of references. In Personal Web Technologies, Apple alleged that various claims of a Personal Web Technologies patent were obvious over two references, Woodhill and Stefik. Woodhill disclosed a system for using content-based identifiers in performing file management functions, such as backing up files. Stefik discloses an authentication system designed to control access to digital works stored in a repository. The Federal Circuit held that the Board and the Patent Office had an obligation to justify and explain, first, that all claim elements at issue could be found in Woodhill and Stefik, and second, that a person of ordinary skill in the art would have been motivated to combine the prior art in the way claimed by Personal Web Technologies in their patent, and would have had a reasonable expectation of success in doing so. In refusing to accept the Board's decision, the Court indicated that the Board's reasoning seems to say no more than that a skilled artisan, once presented with the two references, would have understood that they could be combined. And that is not enough. It does not imply a motivation to pick out those two references and combine them to arrive at the claimed invention. Consistent with the decision in Personal Web Technologies, obviousness should be based on the determination of whether a person having ordinary skill in the art would have had good reason to select and combine the references in a manner that would lead to the claims. In the Rovalma case, Rovalma's patent in question claimed methods for making steels with certain desired thermal conductivities. In an inter-parties review, the Board determined that Rovalma's claimed invention was obvious. Rovalma challenged the Board's findings that a person having ordinary skill in the art, 1, would have appreciated that the claimed thermal conductivities could be achieved by practicing the claimed process steps, 2, would have been motivated to increase the thermal conductivities of the steels disclosed in the prior art to achieve the claimed thermal conductivities, and 3, would have had a reasonable expectation of success in achieving the claimed thermal conductivities. The Court stated that, as Rovalma points out, it did not necessarily follow from prior art disclosures of the general desirability of high thermal conductivities that a person of ordinary skill would have been motivated to increase thermal conductivity beyond levels previously achieved. In Rovalma, the Federal Circuit concluded that, again, however, the Board did not cite any evidence to support the inference that a person of ordinary skill would have reasonably expected to achieve the specific thermal conductivities recited in the claims. Thus, like Personal Web Technologies, Rovalma sets forth a requirement that an alleged case of obviousness must be supported by a detailed explanation. In the Personal Web Technologies and Rovalma decisions, the Federal Circuit made it clear that establishing that prior art references could be combined is not enough because it does not imply a motivation to pick out those references and combine them to arrive at the claimed invention.